Come over here. I'm moving this shit like this.
He's coming over that way. Well, hi, everybody. If you weren't here on Friday when I announced, and I also announced it on the YouTube community tab and on the Facebook page too, that we decided, because everybody might be like, hey, it's Monday, where's the haunting shit? I mean, if anybody cared all that much.
Yeah.
But we said on Friday, it's like we were kind of getting a little burned out on the haunting shows.
Yeah.
Like I said, they were getting a little bit samey, and
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing over and over.
right. And then season 7 is like not as good and stuff. And I was like, why don't we like just give them a break? For we might go back to them later because we still have a bunch.
Yeah.
But I was like, why don't we just get rid of that for a little while, and then we'll just do the movie review on Monday instead.
Yeah.
And then we can do other things on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. Plus, we have to start reorganizing our schedule and our time because of the other stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
And we got to start prioritizing profitability. That's one thing. But a haunting, we kind of started to run that into the ground, and they just started to be kind of sound a lot alike because it is a formulaic.
And they were getting a lot less substantive, like I said. Like
Yeah.
I noticed. Like I was noticing I was only getting like a page and a half of notes, whereas before
Right.
I'd get like a whole like pages and pages of notes.
The best haunting episodes were the ones we don't even have, the pilot episodes. One with
That's
Mr.
right.
Gordy.
We did do shows a long time ago on both of those, but yeah. But yeah, so I decided, I was like, well, I don't want to stop doing the movie reviews because people seem to like those more than the haunting shows. And I like doing the movie reviews also because we watch a lot of movies. So we decided to just move that to Monday, and then that's what we're going to do for the foreseeable future, I guess. Why did I pick this movie randomly? I don't really know, actually. I had been wanting to rewatch this. This is the movie Freeway from 1996, by the way, which I feel like nowadays is kind of like a big cult classic, but it's still the kind of cult classic that I feel like maybe a lot of people also haven't heard of, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? So it's like a very under-the-radar cult classic.
I'd never heard of it.
Yeah, well,
I liked it.
It's great.
Yeah,
but the thing about it, you have to go into it. Okay, don't just go into it looking, because the cover of it is lame. Like, the cover of it doesn't look like the tone of the movie at all. It just looks very generic. It looks like a generic thriller, and it's not. It's actually kind of a black comedy. Even though I think maybe when this first came out, I don't think people realized it was supposed to be funny. And so maybe, but it's along the same lines. I feel like it's very much along the same lines as like a Tarantino film or Natural Born Killers or something like that. It has like that kind of tone to it.
Yeah, it's about this real trashy Southern chick from Texas. All right, her mom's a hooker. Her dad's just kind of a worthless. Her
crackhead.
Yeah, her stepdad's a crackhead who's trying to molest her. I guess he does.
Well, yeah, he does not try it. He does
molest
it.
And she's kind of in a school for fucking delinquents, and
or she's in special ed.
Yeah, like
because she's illiterate.
She's illiterate.
She's illiterate.
And fucking, it's just one thing leads to another, man. They're gonna send her down to a foster home because her parents get locked up to go to prison. So she's gonna run to go see her grandmother and live with her grandmother. Her grandmother doesn't know her, never met her.
She doesn't even know she exists.
Yeah,
I think.
so she takes her mom's old fucked up car and tries to drive it there, but I guess she seized the engine and burnt it up. And guy comes and picks her up on the side of the road, helps her out. It's played by Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland, yeah.
And he plays this guy. He seems real cool, like he's a psychologist, or a counselor.
He works with troubled boys.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. He says that, but does he actually? I guess he does.
Yes.
All right.
He does.
Yeah. He gets her in the car and offers her to take her to her grandmother's house, and real soon he just starts getting weirder and weirder. It turns out he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
And that's where the trouble starts. But this character, what's her name again?
Vanessa,
yeah.
That's the character's name.
Yeah, that's
the actor. It's Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, she's cute as a bug.
And this, I think, was before she got super, super big, like in Legally Blonde and all that. I think this was like
she's
slightly
young,
before that.
she's real cute. And the movie kind of brings back 90s fashion, how cool a lot of that 90s fashion was. It's starting to come back in. You can buy it from, like, Shein has a whole 90s section and a 2000s section. But she's wearing some really cool clothes. But even though she's just trashy as hell, poor girl can't help it. And she's kind of heroic. She's real brave, and she fights like fucking hell. She does all kinds of shit, and she says crazy shit, and it's funny.
She has such great lines.
Yeah, and she's totally feral, you know.
Pretty much, yeah.
She's gets in trouble and tries to kill the serial killer, and then the serial killer fucking says, "I don't know who she is." She didn't, and they didn't believe her that he was a serial killer, and they lock her up, and then she gets involved in a bunch of prison fights and does a jailbreak, and then she's kidnapping people and to try to get to her grandma's house. She's still trying to get to her grandma's house.
Well, yeah.
And some of the girls that broke out with her killed dudes. Killed. I think they killed one of the female guards.
They did, yeah. I think she was dead. She looked like.
I think so.
She looked pretty fucked up.
And then in the end, she has a big showdown. The serial killer was waiting for her at grandma's house, and it's all kind of based around Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
You know, and he's waiting for her dressed up.
He's
as
like the
grandma
big bad wolf,
in bed, you know. You know, it's an old movie, so spoilers. You know, she does survive it, and the serial killer gets killed. But then they just kind of leave it hanging. You don't know what happened to her. I guess there's a sequel, isn't there?
There is, okay. But it's different characters.
It's different characters. Okay.
The sequel, the sequel is called Freeway 2. It's Confessions of a Trick Baby.
Okay. Because she says, "I ain't no trick baby."
Yeah.
Her mama was a hooker.
Yeah. And I think Jennifer Tilly is in the sequel. Actually, I've heard the sequel is also great, but I don't remember anything about it. I did see it, but it was a long time ago.
And just a lot of the shit is just stereotypical fucking Southern, you know. She fucking brings up being saved and the Lord and shit at weird times, and just fucking funny, you know. It's kind of true to life to like.
She's a delightful character.
Yeah.
I mean, she's kind of like, it's very over the top.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a black comedy. You have to kind of approach it as though it's a black comedy. But she's really, really over the top, and she's almost kind of like just skates that thin line between like really, really grating or like really annoying. But somehow still, she is just funny as hell in this fucking movie. I mean, she's just fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and it's this character archetype is kind of like stereotypical of somebody you'd see in the South, and there's truth in it. But this is like real trashy, you know what I mean? Like
it's super
trashy.
It's like over the top.
Yeah.
I know some people's families are really like this. I'm not like they really are.
It's out there even for here. You know?
Yeah, I mean, this is taking like fucking Ricky Lake and Geraldo Rivera and all of that, and just like putting it in Jerry Springer and all. It's like a Jerry Springer family like come to life, like cranked up to 11.
Yeah. And even though she survives it, you don't know whether or not she's free because she committed a bunch of crimes.
Like in the course of
escaping from prison and trying to get to her grandma's house, and she was innocent, really. You know what I mean? The guy was a serial killer and was trying to kill her, you know, which they figured that out eventually.
It took him a while.
Yeah,
but I mean, obviously they didn't believe her at first because he was like an upstanding citizen, quote unquote, and she was a juvenile delinquent with like this big, huge rap sheet for arson and robbery and fighting and like all this other stuff.
Escape.
Yeah.
Now, if you escape from prison and the charges ended up getting dropped because they were false, they probably can't punish you for escape.
Yeah, because you're like, what the fuck did you expect me to do? I didn't do it to start with.
But during the jailbreak, some of the other girls killed the guard, and then she herself kidnapped a dude and put him in the trunk of his own car.
I mean, he didn't die, I guess, but she did kidnap him,
Yeah, but and it was also kind of like armed robbery or carjacking because she pulled a gun on him and took his car. She posed as a hooker.
Yeah.
And then stole his car. And made him take his pants off, put him in the trunk. And then she drove to her grandma's house with him in the truck. He lived.
As far as we know.
Yeah, but in state of Louisiana or Mississippi, carjacking's about 20 years.
Well, this all took place in California, so.
I guess it was. And then.
Because she was going to Stockton, that's where her grandmother lived.
And fucking kidnapping in Louisiana's life. In Mississippi's probably life, too. You can't take anybody anywhere without their consent under force. They're going to give you a life sentence for that. That's why a lot of times that if these serial rapists abduct a woman and they take her somewhere, they usually kill her because it's not an extra charge. He's going to do life anyway if he gets caught. So best thing to do is to kill her. That's why a lot of laws backfire.
Well, it's unintended consequences,
it shouldn't be life. It should be more like 10.
I mean, I guess it would depend on the circumstances.
Yeah, right. Because if it's only 10, there's a better chance he'll take the risk and not killing you and not kill you.
Right.
But if it's life, then he just kills you, because that way you can't testify against him. So that's the criminal way of thinking. Just civilians don't think that way, but they do. They don't have those same limits that you have. But it's a great movie.
I mean, I guess
you don't know what happens to her, really.
I guess, like I said, they did make a sequel, but I think it's about a different person. Person. It's not like nobody from the first movie was in it.
Yeah.
So what the weird thing about this, I saw this movie back I didn't see it in the theater. It only got like a very brief theatrical release because I think it premiered at Sundance in 1996. And then it went to HBO. I don't know if it was originally made for HBO. Might have been. But it screened on HBO, and the critic response to it was so positive that they were like, oh, well, maybe we should give it like a limited theatrical release. So it did get a limited theatrical release. It didn't do all that well at the box office. Like I said, black comedy is kind of a hard sell, and especially one that is as rude as this one, as ballsy as this one, as violent as this one. Like I said, it's very much in the vein of Natural Born Killers, which is almost kind of like a black comedy too. So it's kind of like that. It's not quite as fucked up as that, but it's along the same lines. Or it's like, along the same lines as like Pulp Fiction or something. It reminds me of that kind of stuff. So, so it didn't do very well, like, with the theater, but, like, critics really seemed to like it. And over the years, it seemed to have gotten, like, a pretty substantial cult following. There were some people on Reddit that said it was, like, their favorite movie ever, which is, fair enough. But like I said, I think the problem, too, why this kind of still flies under a lot of people's radar, and even did back in the 90s, is the cover art. The cover art is so bad. It's very, very, it's not bad, it's just blah.
It's boring.
It doesn't really give you any, and I know that like a lot of movies that came out in the 90s, especially ones that were like direct-to-DVD thrillers, had covers just like that, where it was like two big, huge photoshopped heads of the two main stars, and then there was like a little tableau down here, like a car or somebody with a gun or somebody like right. So they pretty much all looked like that, like back in the 90s, and this one looks like that too. So it doesn't really give you any clue as to what the tone of the movie is like. Like it doesn't even suggest that it's actually funny, because it is funny, like in a fucked up way. You know what I mean? Because it's weird because I saw this movie a long time ago. And like I said, back in the 90s. And I remembered really liking it, but I haven't seen it since then. And for whatever reason, I've been scrolling through and I kept seeing it popping up like in my suggested stuff it's on Tubi. And the sequel's on there too, I think. And I was just like, man, I've been meaning to like rewatch that. And then last night I was kind of scrolling around. I was like, well, we kind of need something to talk about or whatever. And I was like, man, I think I'm going to pull the trigger on that, because I've been wanting to rewatch it. And literally all I remembered about it was the part where she gets picked up by Kiefer Sutherland and he's a serial killer. I didn't remember. And the thing about it is that like that's only like the first third of the movie. I had forgotten about her going to jail, about him surviving, like getting shot and like coming after her. Like I forgot about that whole fucking other subplot, because this thing goes in like crazy directions. Yeah. I remembered the whole thing was just like a thriller where she gets picked up by a serial killer and it's like a cat and mouse kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like The Hitcher or something.
Right.
But like funny, because The Hitcher is absolutely not funny. But
it's more like a Tarantino movie.
That's what I'm saying. It reminds me a lot of that kind of like sense of humor.
Yeah. Like
very, very politically incorrect, very, very rude, very...
Oh, yeah. This chick uses racial slurs like crazy.
Which is, yeah.
Yeah. She's, like I said, she's feral, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, she's just a street kid.
I mean, you can't really blame the poor girl because, like I said, her mom, who's played by Amanda Plummer, by the way. So Amanda Plummer is only in the beginning. But the mom, it kind of cracks me up because the mom is a hooker, and she's literally soliciting like on the sidewalk in front of their house.
Yeah.
She's and it's like for some reason that just like tickled the shit out of me. So it's like, oh well, that's nice. You don't even have a long commute. You know what I mean? You just kind of like go out of the sidewalk in front of your house and be like, hey, want a date? You know what I mean? That's like super funny. But yeah, so because she gets hauled off to the clink like pretty early on, and then the stepdad does too. And like I said, she says later, well, she wasn't just molested by the stepdad. She was molested by some of the foster families that they put her in because her parents have been in and out of prison. One of the funniest things in this, and I love that they didn't even like really refer to it like in the universe of the movie, but she's talking to Kiefer Sutherland's character, whose name is Bob Wolverton. That's his name because, like I said, he's Big Bad Wolf. So they're like in a diner, and she's like, "Oh, that's stepdad. He's not my real dad. Like my real dad was a merchant marine or something like that." She's like, "And I have a picture of him." And she shows him a picture of her dad, and it's Richard Speck.
Richard Speck. Serial killer Richard Speck. Really, what she was is she was a trick baby. She was a trick baby. Her mother just didn't tell her that she was a trick baby. That's why I ain't no trick baby. Yeah, you were. You're a trick baby.
But so, well, that was, I mean, that I think that was one of the, I fucking laughed out loud when I saw that because I was just kind of like, well, does that imply that her dad actually really was Richard Speck, or that's just what her mom told?
That's what her mother gave her. Her mother didn't know who that was.
He probably didn't know.
Just gave her that.
Here, that's your daddy.
Yeah, merchant marine my ass. She was a trick.
Yeah.
And
I just like laughed my ass off.
Yeah, and in the beginning, you know, her mom's out tricking and shit. Her stepdad's fucking molesting her. And when she's at the school, her boyfriend's this black guy, another student there.
Chopper,
yeah. And I recognize the guy, but I can't place him. He's from.
He was in shit. I looked it up because he's a famous
actor.
He's in a fuck ton of movies.
Yeah, he's in a shit ton of movies.
I was looking through the ones.
He's young in this though, so he's hard to recognize.
And I was trying to think. He was in Riddick.
Yeah, that's one of the. I remember.
And I know that you saw that, so I was kind of like, well, that's probably where you're recognizing him from. He was in Riddick. He's been in a million other things too.
Yeah,
that's probably.
So he loves the shit out of her. All right, and she's got to go back to her grandma, and he's fucking heartbroken and shit. He gives her a gun to protect herself, when she uses that later on.
Well, he also says, "Sell this when you get where you're going, for money."
Yeah. And then she leaves to go to her grandma's house, and unbeknownst to her, he immediately gets killed.
In a drive-by.
Some guys fucking drive by him and just fucking light him up.
She doesn't find out until later.
Later, right, yeah.
Like when she tries to call him.
She didn't know.
And that was like really sad.
Yeah.
That was really sad.
Yeah, he was like the only guy that was nice to her. He's trying to help her.
I mean, he was in a gang and stuff.
Yeah, but he was kind of a fucking... What was a good way to put it? He was kind of a fucking innocent type of dude. He didn't know any better. He was just trying to help her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fucking, and his enemies got him. Fucking laid him out.
But yeah, I mean, it's just so many cute. Like Reese Witherspoon is just so fucking cute in this because she is just, like I said, she is trashy as shit.
Yeah. And
she just says the most fucked up shit.
Yeah, she's real racist, even though she had a black boyfriend. There's all these fucking
right. Well, although she did call that cop the N-word.
Yeah.
But she just said that like later on after they kind of pulled her out.
Get underneath his fucking skin.
Yeah, she just said she did it like to make him mad.
Yeah, but her mom was like that though too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was tricking the black guys and then fucking insulting them and shit at the same time when they didn't fucking take the bait.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so yeah, this poor kid, she didn't really have a chance or anything like that. Yeah. But I think that I liked the way that they kind of, like I said, it's kind of a satire. And the fact that Kiefer Sutherland is this very, very upstanding, led to be reasonably wealthy dude. His wife, actually, who's like this socialite, whose name is Mimi, is played by Brooke Shields. And she's actually great in that role. She is a mega bitch. But she doesn't know that he's a serial killer. So after Reese Witherspoon like fucks him up, because I had totally forgotten. Like I said, I thought the whole movie was like cat and mouse game, like between him and her. Like she gets picked up and he's just keep like after her and stuff like that. But no, like spoiler alert, a third of the way through the movie, she shoots his ass. Yeah. Like she is absolutely not having it. Like as soon as, because he pretends like he's nice and he's trying to get her to like open up about all this all of her traumatic childhood and everything like that. But, like, as it's going on, you can tell that he's just getting her to say this shit because he's getting off on it.
Yeah.
And then he straight up implies that he's going to kill her and then have sex with her dead body.
Yeah.
And then she gets super, super offended at that. Like, she gets really, really mad.
Which he does that to other people, so he was going to do that.
Right.
And, but I like the character. She's fucking crazy as shit. She's extremely fucking trashy. But she's she's cute, and she's fucking real brave, real tough. Makes it through a lot of shit.
She has some anger issues, let's put it that way.
Yeah, well, she had good survival instincts, though. Although a lot of it was just, she had good survival instincts. A lot of it was fucking kind of like dumb luck and faith. You know, Jesus watching out for her and stuff like that. You just got to see it, you know.
I mean, because after she shoots Kiefer Sutherland, like a comet goes across the sky or something, and she takes that as like God saying that was okay, and that was like what she was supposed to do.
Yeah. But that's just part of the fucking...
And then she turns up at a diner, and she's like covered with blood.
Yeah, it doesn't even wash it off.
And she's just like sitting there looking at the menu and like ordering shit, and everybody's staring at her, and she's like, "Oh, I must look a fright."
Yeah.
Y'all got a washroom?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she just goes in there. And then there's like that fucking scene where she goes to the, after they put her in juvie, they're actually going to try her as an adult because, like I said, she shoots the shit out of Bob, but he survives, but he's all fucked up. Like his
headshots and everything.
Yeah, like his face is all like deformed, and he can't he's like a quadriplegic. Yeah. So he's like in a wheelchair and stuff. And although I think he gets better like later on because he's kind of walking later, but he's still kind of fucked up looking.
It's the only thing. It's the only problem I had with the movie. The pistol that the boyfriend gave her, if I recall correctly, was a fucking Taurus PT-92, which is a Beretta copy, 9mm. And the first thing she does is she shot him right in the neck, basically point blank. Maybe
because she was right behind him in the car, and she just went pa-pow.
Even if that was Full Metal Jacket bullet, which is not as damaging as say hollow points, no, you wouldn't survive that. I shot that close and right through the meat part of the neck, and then he shot him a couple times in the back when he was running, and then later walked up and fucking dome checked him from the back of his head. And I think it came out this front eye, didn't it?
It came out his eye, yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of going underneath the brain case, but still, that's just too much trauma.
But like I said, the whole movie is supposed to be like over the top,
right?
And you know, because I'm sitting there thinking like the whole movie, because I had totally forgotten. I thought the whole movie was like the two of them, and then I was like, holy shit, she just fucking shot him, and it's only like a third of the way through. Yeah. Like I thought, like so obviously like he had to live, but like I said, he was all fucked up, and the fact that he was this upstanding citizen, he was married, and he had this really nice house, and nobody knew he was the I-5 killer, I think was what they called him, and nobody knew that he was that, and he was also like a necrophile and everything.
Yeah.
And he was, they implied that he was into child prawn as well. Yeah. Kitty prawns. But yeah, because when they did the shed and everything. So I thought it was good the way they kind of went into, and I mean, obviously Reese Witherspoon's character, she's Vanessa, she's not helping her case because she's just, as soon as they put her somewhere, she just beats the shit out of people. She just like talks fucking shit at people. She like absolutely just gives no fucks. So it was very easy for Bob, the serial killer, and his prissy ass wife to paint themselves as the victim. Yeah. And her, she was just some crazy bitch that, you know, carjacked me and took my money. Because she did take his money, like, after she thought he was dead.
She's not bad, though. She's just kind of, like, animalistic. It's just fight or flight.
Right.
You know, if she's captured, well, shit, I got to get out of here. You know, she's going to get out of there any way she can. You know.
And then as soon as she discovered that he was the I-5 killer, she figured she was justified in killing him because
he'll go kill somebody else.
Right. She says to the cop later on, she's like, you know, he would have just gone and picked up some other girl, and that would be my fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she thought she was going to take him out, which, you know, was absolutely the right thing to do. It's just, unfortunately, he survived it. You know what I mean? Because maybe he had like a titanium plate.
Gets to prison and some Hispanic girl tries to fucking lean on her. First thing she shows up into the on the tier, and she instantly turns around and just fucking attacks the girl. Just instant.
She just fucks her face.
There was
all
no hesitation, which that's the right answer.
She did. She even pulled the receiver of the phone off the thing and
beat her with a fucking phone and shit.
Fucking shit out of her with that.
Yeah.
But see that. But
Without
see
hesitation,
then later on, that girl, her name was Mesquita, by the way.
Yeah.
She actually helped her.
Yeah, they became friends.
Escape, like, because that was it was like a respect thing.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, she did some not so great shit. Like the whole like killing that dude, obviously very justified. The cops didn't see it that way because they didn't know that he was the I-5 killer until later, because they didn't even really bother looking into her story. I feel like because she had such a long rap sheet, so they were kind of like, oh well, she's obviously just like a fucking trash person. Well, that's what Kiefer Sutherland called her, a garbage person.
Yeah.
And that's like who he was targeting. So he was kind of one of those mission-oriented killers that goes around like picking up people that he thinks are like disposable, garbage people.
Yeah,
and he's like punishing them.
Yeah, that's what what's his name called? Bottom feeders.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Who, Ted Bundy?
Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy called Gary Ridgway a bottom feeder. Oh,
Yeah.
he's just killing hookers. He's got no style, no taste, you know.
Because even among serial killers, there's like a fucking
Yeah.
hierarchy,
Yeah.
which is really fucked
Bundy
up.
was proud that he only went after good girls.
Yeah, good job, Ted.
Yeah.
You're a real prize.
Yeah.
Motherfucker's dead, though.
Yeah.
Camp Guy says, giant truck stop gas stations can be dangerous for lot lizards. Oh, absolutely. I've heard that a lot of serial killers are truck drivers. Yeah, I mean, obviously not all truck drivers are serial killers, but a lot of serial killers do tend to be truck drivers. Because it's a profession that would attract that type of person. Like if you were looking to...
Always moving around.
Yeah. And, and you got a truck, you got a rolling thing that you can have people in and nobody will see you and all that kind of shit. Camp Guy also said, strange new case just got arrested and started in Greenville, South Carolina. Involves a girl, her ex, her kid, her new fiance, and some dogs from the vet practice where she works. I'll try to find out the names for y'all right now.
What is all that? What do the dogs have to do with it?
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Let me see. Kevin Smith said, hey, Tom and Jenny, I remember this movie. It was back when I had a huge crush on Reese Witherspoon. Yeah, she's super cute in this. I don't even know how old... She's playing a 15 or 16-year-old, and I bought it. I think she might have been more like 19 or 20.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure this was before Legally Blonde. When did Legally Blonde come out? 98, I want to say? Maybe. So that was a couple years before that. Zach says, random, but y'all seen the Species movies. I've seen the first one. I saw the second one earlier. My God, it was stupid, but so much fun.
Old Bathhouse Zachary.
He said he had an appointment at the Cootie Doctor
At the
tomorrow.
Cootie Factory, yeah. Old Tingling Pecker Bathhouse
Tingling
Zachary.
Pecker. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you say the stuff in the chat. Like
you need to go visit Streammate,
And
man. Stay away from the bathhouse. That chlorine won't save you.
Yeah, Murder Hornet commented up here. Hate to tell you this, Tom, but Jenny's cheating on you. I've seen the video.
Yeah, the whole video. The whole video, yeah. Yeah, she cheats with you. The watcher. Whoever's watching that video, she's cheating with you.
I'm going to have to do another one like that. That was fun.
Yeah.
With better lighting and better angles and stuff.
Yeah.
But,
I can't believe we were watching that video. It's only from a couple months ago. How much weight you've lost in that amount of time.
Yeah,
You must have lost 20 pounds.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it until I saw the video. I was like, what? Man.
Yeah.
You're still cute, but
Yeah.
you could definitely see that you've gotten thinner.
Yeah, I think I've lost about 20 pounds since then. Yeah. But I shot that in May.
Yeah.
First or second week of May.
Yeah.
So it was a couple months ago.
Yeah. You had some more meat on you then.
Yeah.
It's still good. Face is cute.
Tom doesn't care.
It's cute, yeah.
I mean, he does, but...
Yeah. I like it. Either way, it's all right.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
Hugo says
I think you look good now, though.
Yeah, I do
You're
too.
looking good now, yeah.
I do too.
Yeah, we need to make some more stuff. We got our mini vids up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
So I think we have 10 videos up there.
Yeah, 10 videos
at the moment.
Yep.
And I have some days off coming up. I have to work tomorrow and Wednesday, but then I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. So we're gonna make some more videos and we're gonna stream and stuff too.
Yeah, we streamed. Was it yesterday?
Yesterday. Yeah.
Yesterday for like an hour or 45 minutes. That first hour we made like.
I think
we took home almost $50.
I think we made $45 or 40 something like
yeah.
that just in like an hour.
Yeah, fucking those dudes turned the camera on, man. 3 of them. Those dudes are fucking shredded. One dude could have competed in IFBB men's fitness. That's what he looked like.
Uh-huh.
And he put on a whole show that other people would fucking pay to see. He's in there doing fucking one-arm push-ups while he's jerking it. Giving me the thumbs up. I'm like, okay. This shit's fucking funny, man. It's funny.
Like
it's a good time.
We could do like a whole fucking other show.
Do a whole of the show.
Just like talking about the people out there doing this stuff.
I guess because of my build, I'm attracting these gym rats that fucking try to outdo me, or they want to, they want to show off. They want to show off. Had one dude come in there, fucking, his name was Viking or something or other.
Yeah,
and
something Viking.
Yeah, and he goes, I got an 11-inch dick, like that.
And we're
going,
like,
yeah, bullshit.
yeah.
You're going to have to fucking prove that shit.
Because if you come in and say that.
Yeah, he comes, well, shit, man, he fucking went exclusive and turned his camera on, and sure enough, that motherfucker
I was like,
huge.
all right, fair play.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you got it. You got that, bro. And he did look like a Viking. He was about 6 feet tall. Big dude, man. Big dude. And fucking, for you guys who know porn, if you know who fucking, Diesel is, what's his name? Shane Diesel. He made Shane Diesel look small. Yeah. So
it was.
I saluted that shit. Looking good.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Tom's just like, all right.
Yeah, man, you won that competition. Like a 40-ounce fucking beer can.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing.
He wasn't bullshit.
That dude should have been in porn.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody.
So was the other guy. The other guy should have been in porn.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like I said, they probably could have had their own streaming.
Yeah, they could have been streaming and could have...
Instead of just, like, paying to watch us.
Yeah.
They
paid us to put on a show for us.
Yeah, I mean,
that one dude, he put on a whole
pretty
show.
Much, yeah.
Yeah,
showing
off.
I mean, we were too, but we were.
It's funny.
Doing a mutual show.
He spent over $100.
Yeah, I think he did.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did.
Mm-hmm.
He was on for a while.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
At $5.99 a minute.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you got a block because you can buy blocks and you get like a decent, what do you call it? A discount. But I'm not. Really
he
sure.
may have bought a 15-minute.
So
block.
I think he bought a 15-minute block.
Yeah,
maybe.
probably did.
I mean, you still got to pay for it, but it's not as much as if you paid for it.
Yeah, I think you get like $1 off.
Right, something like that. Hugo said you guys should watch California with a K. Yeah, I've seen that. 1993 with Brad Pitt. They're visiting all serial killer sites. It's pretty good. Yeah, that's another one that I've been wanting to revisit because I remember seeing that back in the 90s as well and really liking that one. So I might get around to that one, just eventually. I kind of want to think was Christian Slater in that? Or am I thinking of something else? I know Christian Slater was in like every movie around that time period. Like after Heathers came out, it was just kind of like... Then he was in Pump Up the Volume, and shit, we never did do Pump Up the Volume, did we? That was a great fucking movie too. I love that movie.
Hugo said nasal whistle is prominent tonight. What you talking about? What is a nasal whistle?
Oh, because you're like sniffling.
Is that what it is, or
maybe? Hugo said just watch Sympathy for the Devil with Nicolas Cage. It was interesting. Man, Nicolas Cage is in fucking everything. Every time I scroll through any streaming service, I'm like, every third movie has Nicolas Cage in it. I'm like, when does the dude sleep? I don't know. Camp Guy said, amazing, Jenny. Congrats. Thank you about losing the weight. Yeah, that's awesome. My wife has been following a diet and exercise and lately lost 5 or 10 pounds at age 59. Yeah, it is much harder when you're a little bit older, and like I said, I have it's just a genetic propensity to put weight on. So I really have to watch it. Like I really have to do calorie restriction. I just can't overeat, and I especially can't now that I'm, old. Because if I ate what I wanted to eat all the time, I would be like 500 pounds for real.
Hormone replacement. That's another key.
Well, that works too. That also helps. But like I said, all I ate today, I ate my little can of tuna salad for lunch. I think that's 200 calories. And then when I got home, you made curry. Thai curry, but it was actually like almost all vegetables. It was just vegetables and chicken and just like a kind of a thin broth, and it's really, really good.
Yeah, coconut broth.
Yeah, like a coconut broth. Like it had tomatoes and peppers and onions.
It's healthy.
Yeah, it was yummy actually. It was really, really good. You hadn't made that in a while. Yeah, the guy from the X-Files is in California too. But it wasn't was Christian Slater in it though? Because why am I thinking Christian Slater was in that movie? I don't know. Now I have to look it up. I remember seeing it and I remember liking it, but I saw so many movies in the fucking 90s because we were always renting them. Because, you know, I grew up in Daytona and there was, like, nothing to do. Like, we didn't have a lot of money and I didn't have a car and shit like that. So most of the time, we just went to fucking Blockbuster and rented, like, 3 or 4 movies and got some snacks and just, like, sat around watching them. So I think that's probably when I first saw Freeway as well. But I don't know. I was watching... there do seem to be like a lot of other YouTube reviews of Freeway, including off-the-shelf reviews. It's these 2 British guys, and they're really funny because they just kind of do like kind of an off-the-cuff kind of shit like we do. Like usually they have a couple drinks, and their shit's usually like 40, 50 minutes long where they just kind of like sit around talking about the movie and kind of going off on tangents and stuff. And I just watched the one that they did about this movie, and they said when they first started watching it they weren't sure they were gonna like it or not because they thought Reese Witherspoon's character was like really annoying. Like her voice was really annoying, which I get that, but then like at the end, like as it went on, they ended up like really liking it. But like I said, you have to approach it knowing that it's supposed to be funny, like it's a black comedy, because I don't know if you went into it thinking it was gonna be like a serious, like a thriller, then you might be like, what the fuck am I even watching? Because it's really like, it's tonally, it's very, very weird. It's not like a thriller at all.
Her accent was actually accurate, but not for Texas. It was accurate more for like Kentucky.
Well, like I said, the story took place in California.
Yeah.
But I don't remember where she was supposed to be from.
She said she was from Texas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Reese Witherspoon, that's actually her actual accent, but she just exaggerated it.
Okay.
And I don't actually remember where she's from originally, but she, you know, I just saw something where she said, you know, that's her actual voice, but she just like exaggerated it quite a bit.
Yeah, like when I'm around my dad, all of a sudden you just start drifting into a fucking thicker and thicker Mississippi Delta.
Yeah, if you listen to Tom like talking to his dad on the phone, like
15 minutes later,
I noticed that he's like talking more and more Southern.
Yeah.
Camp Guy said she's from Alabama. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
Northern Alabama would be up around up around Kentucky, that area. Yeah.
Yeah, and she has a very, very thick Southern accent in this, but it's kind of like her real voice. Oh, Camp Guy said I think she's from Alabama.
All right.
So I don't know, but yeah. So like I said, it's on Tubi, and I'm pretty sure the sequel is on there too. I saw the sequel back in the 90s. I think Jennifer Tilly is in it. Like I said, there's none of the same actors, but I've heard it's like good. I saw it a long time ago, but literally do not remember a single thing about it. I don't know. So maybe I'll do that like eventually, like watch it. But I got distracted last night because after I watched that, I was like scrolling through Tubi, and I realized that Tubi has a veritable smorgasbord of old classic horror movies, like from the 20s and 30s and 40s. They have a fuck ton of them. So we ended up watching the original Nosferatu from 1922. Yeah. And then we ended up watching one of the original like Flash Gordon
it's
serials.
Called Rocket Ship or something. Rocket Ship.
Like from 1933.
It wasn't a serial, it was a movie.
Yeah, it was only like an hour long though.
No, I thought it was more than that. It was an hour and 20 minutes.
No, it was an hour and 3 minutes.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was only an hour long.
Yeah, it's real fast paced, and it's basically real similar to the Flash Gordon movie, the Dino De Laurentiis one. It's that same basic story.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was that. But yeah, they also had like they had White Zombie, and they had like all this, because I was kind of like, oh, I kind of want to watch White Zombie too, but then it was getting kind of late, so I didn't. Yeah. But
Flash Gordon with Buster Crabbe though. That shit is so dumbed down. I mean, it's fucking dumb.
We had a good time watching it.
It's just
though.
fun. Yeah, it's just fun to watch. It's constant action and silly action, and
hot babes.
Hot babes for the time. It's 20s. I think it's 20s, isn't it?
I thought it was 1933.
30s, yeah.
But it might have been earlier. I thought
a lot of sexual undertones in it.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Ming's daughter was just trying to jump on that dick.
He is mine! You know, that kind of shit, yeah.
She's trying to jump on that dick. She wants him to be her sex slave.
Yeah.
Well, and she gives him that potion, too.
Gives
like,
him
to make
fucking
him forget
glove potions, and they try to get... Ming tries to marry Dale. Because they were using some kind of mind control device on her for a bit, didn't they?
Remember? It was like a thing, like a neon light, and like if you stared at it, then it like controlled your mind.
Yeah, it was like his fucking high tech roofie.
Yeah. Yeah, like drugs would probably be a lot cheaper.
They used rays for everything. The truth ray, the invisible ray.
It's the future, man.
You just use a ray to do it.
Yeah, get that death ray. Get the roofie ray.
Yeah.
Get the rape ray.
Yeah. They took iguanas and fucking glued a bunch of spikes on them and made them fight each other.
They did that so much back then.
They blew them up.
They did.
I don't know if they killed them. I don't think they did, but they set a fire.
I suspect they might have.
I don't know. I think they just, because they didn't really show the aftermath. They just showed a firecracker go off next to them.
They were like, hey, what the fuck?
Fucking funny.
Poor little lizards. They didn't. Well, yeah, they did that a lot in like going into the 50s, like those Bird Eye Gordon movies and stuff like that, where they would always be like, "Oh, we're going to Dinosaur Island," and then they would take like an iguana, because I guess people didn't really see iguana, like an iguana or a little monitor lizard or something like that, and they fucking they would like glue like cardboard fucking spines to their backs. I'm like, Jesus Christ, cruelty to animals. They didn't give a shit. And they're like, yeah, make them fight. Yeah. And it comes. I did see a few from I think the 50s that where actually one did kill the other one, so it was like a lizard snuff movie. Yeah. I have a hard time watching that. I love lizards. I really like the lizards, and I think that's shitty. I mean, I know they would have been dead now anyway, but I'm just saying that it's like, I don't really like...
They just looked at it, those are things that you bought from the pet store, and a lot of other people ate them and shit, so, you know.
I know, but it's just kind of like, I'm kind of glad that people don't really do that so much anymore, because I kind of feel like back then, it was so freewheeling, and they're just like, it's just an animal, who gives a shit? We can kill each other for the movie. We'll get more.
They were killing sharks for movies.
Yeah, if you have Shudder, there's a great. They just put a documentary on there called Sharksploitation, and it's all about like all the fucking shark movies. Which I knew there was a lot of shark movies. I didn't realize how many shark movies there were, and I actually didn't realize how far back it went. You know what I mean? Like, because they had shark movies like back in the fucking 20s, right? Like that weren't super like shark focused, but they still had like sharks in them and stuff. So they had that, and there was there were like a couple of movies where they did like kill actual sharks like in the movie. So people complain about Cannibal Holocaust, but like other movie makers were doing that shit too, and that is not cool. Not cool at all. But yeah, they did like a big long thing about Jaws and about Peter Benchley. Like they had a big long interview with Peter Benchley's widow, and she was talking about how bad Peter Benchley felt like after the book came out and then after the movie came out, and so like everybody was like, oh, sharks are evil, so then like everybody started like killing them, you know what I mean? Like they started all of these tournaments where it's like who can kill the biggest shark, and it's like they're a menace to the sea, and so Peter Benchley felt really bad. So like a lot of his later life was devoted to kind of conservation, like ocean conservation, because he felt so shitty that he had been kind of responsible for everybody killing the sharks and shit like that. But yeah, it's really good. And it talked all about, obviously it talked about like the more recent stuff. It even mentioned Ouija Shark, which was a terrible movie, but like, which we talked about, Sharktopus and Sharknado and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. But it's on Shudder. Yeah, sharks with freaking lasers on their heads. They did mention that in there too. It's very thorough. I mean, they cover a lot of stuff in there. Those movies with giant iguanas are awesome. Yeah, I mean, but like I said, they did kind of make them fight with one another, and I think a couple of ones that I saw looked like they were actually like hurting each other, and I was kind of upset about it because I used to have a pet iguana, and I used to have a pet gecko also, so I actually quite like lizards. All right, so we ready to wrap it up?
Yep.
All right, so Wednesday night's show, which hopefully you can join us for that, we are going to be talking about people who faked their own kidnappings. So I'm just going to I haven't decided which ones I'm going to focus on. I'm not going to talk about Sherry Papini because we already did a show about her, like on a slightly different topic, because she's one of the most famous ones that faked her own kidnapping. But there are some other crazy ones.
Do they have that recent one where the girl disappeared, and when she came back, she claimed to have been chained up by two other girls, and that they branded her or something?
That was Sherry Papini.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we did a show about her before.
We did?
Yeah.
Was there anything to that? They wanted that?
No, she faked it.
She faked it? Okay.
She faked it. She went and stayed with her ex-boyfriend.
Okay.
And he, for whatever reason, went along with it and like helped her. She told him that her husband was beating on her and she was trying to get away from him, and I guess it escalated because she was gone for a while, like for several weeks or a month or something like that. And then so she goes to the ex-boyfriend's house and is like, yeah, my husband's beating me up and I'm trying to get away from him and stuff. But then like as time went on, she's like, hey, can you brand me? And he did it.
Yeah, what did he brand her with? What do you brand it?
I don't know.
The word.
Yeah, it was like I couldn't really read it, but it was like on the back of her shoulder.
You don't remember what it was, huh?
No, because I saw like part of it.
Yeah, and she said some Mexican cartel girls tried to sell her or something. Is that
yeah, she was trying to imply that she was going to be trafficked.
Yeah.
But yeah, they found out later that she was.
Yeah, and the cops were kind of skeptical.
Full of crap.
Cops
yeah, I mean they believed her at first, but then like her story didn't really add up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've kind of been going through like just lists of different people that did this stuff, and it's like some of them are kind of funny because they did it for like really stupid reasons. So it's like,
all right, we'll do that.
So I want to get into some of that too, but I mean it's kind of not funny because you're using a lot of law enforcement resources that could be used on like actual crimes, on your bullshit. Like, especially like, oh, I'm going to pretend I got kidnapped because I got an F on my report card or some shit like that. You know, meanwhile, people are getting murdered over here. So, and a lot of times they do actually make them pay back, like how like restitution for how much time they wasted on that bullshit. Why? Because Sherry Papini, I think she got some prison time. And she did, yeah. I think it wasn't a long time. I think it was just 18 months. Okay. And they made her pay... Enough, I think she had to pay $300,000 back or something like that because of all the time that she wasted and shit like that. So don't fake your own kidnapping, people. I mean, it's probably a really, really dumb thing to do, and especially for some of the reasons that these people fucking do it, which are pretty universally pretty stupid. So yeah. All right, so that's what Wednesday night's show is going to be. So hopefully you guys can join us for that. It'll be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as usual. And hopefully we can go on a little bit longer than usual because I'll be off the next day, so I don't have to worry about like going to bed early and shit like that. So we can have a good time with it because it's, you know, it's crime, but it's not. Nobody got killed, so it's not a horribly grim subject. All right, so thanks everybody for dropping by and hanging out with us this Monday evening. We'll see you guys again on Wednesday. Good night.